You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Dexter. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Dexter news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AFTERBUZZ TV for Dexter!
Happy day before Halloween. I hope you're hearing me because I can't hear anything in my headphones. So I'm Steve the hot dog guy.
Woo!
Or Evans, depending on how you look at it. Evans. I'm here with Sacagawea.
Hello.
She just came off the trail.
At my drum today.
I think it was Lewis and Clark.
That's going to happen a lot.
That just popped through my headphones, so thank you. Your sacred drum healed my headphones.
It is very sacred. I thought, it would
By
go
the way,
along
I
with
do
the
this all the
religious
time.
theme.
I just dress like this
I think we should do this every Sunday.
all the time.
I mean, Halloween's not today.
It's every day. Mostly to enjoy all the sugar. So if the show makes absolutely no sense, it's because everyone around here is on a sugar high. Because there's sugar everywhere. How you doing, Jesse, in the booth? DJ Jesse, he's leaving the booth. So here we are for Dexter. Episode 5, Angel of Death. And
Yes.
Still, he's not killed anyone.
You mean Dexter?
Yeah, he's like having to deal with a, I'm not going to say a dry spell, but,
He's going through. He hasn't been going through withdrawal, though. I haven't seen signs of it.
I was thinking that too, that, he hasn't, although there was that moment where he had somebody that he thought was going to take care of that and had to let him go.
Yes, we
But
will
you
get
could
into
tell
that.
when he had him in his grasp that he was kind of like enjoying
Travis.
that feeling again. So a lot of stuff going on as
So
usual.
much stuff going on.
And the A story that we've been getting on these last few episodes is Travis and Professor Gellar
Yes.
and their things.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that it's possible that Professor Gellar is actually dead and Travis is imagining him like Dexter imagines talking to his dad?
And nobody knows that Gellar's dead.
Yeah. Maybe Travis killed him.
That's interesting.
Maybe I just ruined the entire season for everyone.
Well, I mean, they haven't. No, I'm sorry, dead air. But I was just thinking about that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't set it up any other way. That he's definitely. Everyone said when I used to work with them, and
Right.
They had that scene where they were looking at the newspaper, and he kind of looked around a little bit. But if you're on the front page of a newspaper, someone would probably notice you.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been in public and he hasn't interacted with anyone. The only one who he really talks to is Travis, and Travis is the only one who really sees him.
I think you got a prediction.
Maybe.
The other thing that has been interesting since the last couple of episodes, and we'll get back to Travis here in a minute, but the slide box. Do you think we're done with that?
I think we're done with the trophy case, yeah.
Really? He got so messed up, he just kind of went, I can't put it back in order? Time to move on. Get rid of the slide box, we're moving on.
That was his last kill when that happened.
So we've got Travis and Gellar, and there's a rift, you think, happening there?
Yes, I believe so. It doesn't, because Dexter says to Travis, you're following the wrong person. And Travis even says, I am not the killer. I can't kill people. Unlike Gellar, I have fear and regret. I can't do it. I'm not as strong as him. And Dexter says, hey, buddy, you're following the wrong guy. You're following the darkness.
That was an interesting conversation when
Yeah.
they had that, because there's a moment that Dexter has with his victims, is that kinship, and in that kinship, he's always trying to discover, I am better than you on some level. I'm better than you, and I think that's part of the reason he keeps his sanity.
That's a good point.
Is because he has to have that clarity before he kills, just to, keep that level.
Do you think he ever intended on killing Travis when he got in the car?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did intend, and then realized this isn't the guy. Because in that conversation, it was a different conversation than he's had with all his other kills, which is, they've always like, yeah, of course, we're the same and all that sort of thing. But
I don't know. I kind of feel like he was always going to use Travis to get to Gellar. I don't think he would kill Travis without figuring out more about Gellar. So I'm not sure that he intended on killing him.
That's interesting. You think he that was a stage thing to rattle his cage?
I think it was.
Huh.
I think it was. I don't think it would have been if Brother Sam wasn't in this season and isn't anymore.
Well, he is. He's just not all there.
His dark passenger, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be in a coma?
I don't know. Maybe.
His dark passenger will get revenge.
Well, he's certainly not doing much in this next episode.
I'm so sad about that. I really enjoyed the conversations with Sam.
Yeah, we'll get to we'll chat about that in a minute, because actually I'm enjoying that as well. But you're thinking that, and here's why I was thinking that he intended to, and if he didn't, he was probably maybe thinking, I could, is because of how he was acting in the back of the car when he had the Garrett around Travis, or the Garrote.
And he gave him the address of where to go.
Yeah, and he was in the back seat.
I
thought the way he was sounding in his conversation, it did have that same sort of, this is who I really am. I can finally be me. It's kind of like a cross-dresser who finally gets to be able to dress and is sitting around the house. That's the kind of feel you have when Dexter finally gets to release who he is. And
Did you just bring up a cross-dresser?
I can. It's Halloween.
What was interesting to me is Travis gets out of the car and he doesn't turn around at all. He just listens to Dexter completely, keeps walking, and doesn't even tell Gellar where he's been, what happened.
That was interesting. What do you think about that? Why do you think the phone call and what he was trying to tell Gellar?
I think Travis has been looking for someone to tell him that he's right to have fear about killing these people. I mean, even when Travis picked up that second girl, he was like, I'm sorry. I'm kidnapping you right now.
Right.
He's a very apologetic killer. But I feel like Travis has been looking for someone to be like, you are right in your feelings, and you shouldn't be following Gellar. I mean, Gellar's the one who's pinning Travis down, which I don't even know how they came.
Do you think Dexter knew that he needed that? You think Dexter, that was a point of the conversation?
He knew that he needed that because Dexter needed those words that Sam gave to Dexter. I feel like Sam's filling in a lot of the blanks for Dexter, and Dexter was able to do that with Travis here.
This is why we have a smart person in the room and a hot dog vendor. And by the way, if you're out there listening and you want to come call in and join the conversation, we'd love to have you call.
Please.
It's area code 424-256-1729. And if you have comments or what you think about what's going on and what Dexter is going through or where he may end up, because it's been a very interesting ride so far, and really starting to talk about who he is as a man, as a father, and all that sort of thing.
Do you want to talk about some symbolism?
Sure.
Okay, so we find out in the episode that 1,260 days is the end number. And there in Revelations, there is a verse, and it says, "And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy for 1,260 days, and they shall speak for me." So that's the verse, and we find out that that's the end number when it all happens. So they have, 16 days left now? Because they got 1244
Yeah,
now.
they figure they have about 15 days before. But here's what I'm wondering. So what does Professor Gellar have in mind for the big end time. I mean, it's one thing to say it's going to end, but it seems like this guy would definitely have some sort of big plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one thing to say, well, here's what's going to happen. I mean, we just went through that with the 2 doomsdays we just passed.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if there's like a bomb or something somewhere. I mean, you know, what is Professor Gellar going to do to make his prophecy come true? So
I don't know, but we saw the dead fish in the last episode, and that is supposed to symbolize like the day of God's wrath. And
Dead fish?
Yes, and it's talking about God doesn't judge people without giving them a warning, so that they can have time to reconcile what they've done. So I guess these are all warnings to wake up the people, so they have time to reconcile with God.
And enjoy some dead fish.
Yeah. No. They
Do a little
no.
nosh.
No, but they talk about, you know, people in this episode. Travis and Gellar were sitting at the bar, and Gellar convinced Travis when he was looking at that woman that it was the devil dressed up in clothing. And they kind of talked about how like people are marrying and building and planting and thinking that they have plans for the future, but they have no idea that the earth is going to end.
And isn't that seductive to feel like you have this information?
Yeah.
I think that's the seduction that Gellar's using with Travis, is we are really the select few, and we only know this. And look at all these sad people, and don't you feel,
Yeah.
you know, don't you feel pity for them? But thank God you know this. Twisted.
Very.
But, you know, Travis is, well, and again, I don't think Travis is buying it as much. I think he's starting to see that he's doing a lot of the grunt work, and he's not enjoying it. And what, you have any more symbolism?
Well, a little bit, but it's going into like when Dexter and Sam are together. Do you want to talk about Dexter and Sam?
Because I was just thinking of moving to
Let's move to that.
Dexter and Sam, which has always been such an interesting conversation. First of all, again, Ma's deaf. Although it seems like in this episode, I could see him trying a little harder, just as an actor. He seemed like when they first met in the precinct, you know, and you could see him, you know, having to kind of act a little more instead of just be. Because up to this point, he's always just kind of been there, just kind of, you know, just relaxed and been who he is.
I think maybe he was doing a little bit more because this may be the last time we see him.
Yeah, could be. But you know how they were like, you know, okay, so you have to be a little nervous and awkward and stuff like that. And it just didn't play quite as well. But it was really nice when he came in later and they had their dinner date.
They hung out.
They hung out with girls.
Yeah.
You had a question about that.
I didn't know if that was beer because I brought that up because I didn't think they would be drinking beer. I didn't think Brother Sam would be drinking beer.
Well, he drinks wine.
It's a different story. So when he
Maybe
comes
it was sacrificial beer.
Whenever he comes in, he brings a lamb to Harrison, which Lamb of God, it represents the sacrifice that Christ made.
Absolutely. Good catch. I just saw a little furry toy. Harrison wasn't really interested in anyway. And they have a chat on the porch, and I really, really enjoyed that chat. And I just kept wondering, is Dexter buying any of it? Is he seeing?
I think he is.
You know, is he seeing what Sam? Because really, if he buys into it, he's got a problem. Right? Because
not necessarily.
Really?
Because instead of killing them, he could lead them to the cops. I mean, we saw Dexter lying to Deb here.
I don't like to lie to my sister, but nope.
Because he wants to be the one to do the killing still.
Right.
I'm guessing.
And then, this is the scene that.
So
but if he does kind of like realize, you know, have kind of developed this, he definitely has a moral compass. But I don't think he's got soul.
What?
You know?
Everyone, listen to Brother Sam. Everyone has.
But I don't think Dexter really believes he does. I think he feels he's probably just this, this
That's
is
a
what
good
I am.
point.
This is what I am.
But that's why Brother Sam was like, Harrison is your light.
I know, and that's why this is such an interesting conversation, because it really is such a wonderful spar, because Brother Sam will throw out a point and Dexter will deflect it. And then you can see him kind of take his time, and then go back to his quiver. Well, how about this one? And he shoots this arrow, and, Dexter is either going to grab it or let that one sink in a little bit. But I think in the overall score, I'd still say Dexter is ahead on points. I don't think he's gotten to the point of and by the way, all these points that I'm making are a lot more serious and can be taken serious when I have a hot dog on my head. So
Listen to the man with hot dogs.
yeah, I think if I ever had to go to court, it's my outfit.
They would kick you out, by
Your
the
Honor?
way. I'm glad you brought that up. I have to go to court soon. Not for me.
Oh,
That's it.
are you a material witness?
No, I have to sit and go and see if they want me to be a witness. What is that?
It's called a jury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
you're
never
not a
had to do
witness.
it. I put it off for a bunch of months. I don't want to be in the jury, but
It's your civic duty. You need to.
I don't
want to
judge anybody.
You need to sit in judgment of others.
I will not.
You could say that
It's not up to me.
Actually, when we're off air, I will tell you a great way to get out of it.
Okay.
It's only a small lie,
Good.
but it works.
Let's talk about the light and dark.
Let's get back on track.
Yeah,
So
about
light and
that.
dark. That's the other thing I liked about that. He was talking about. Well, what was your?
Well,
what was your
Dexter said, I don't believe in angels, but I believe in the constant struggle between lightness and darkness.
Because he deals with it all the time.
Yeah.
He's constantly in that struggle, and he sees it in others all the time. And he has found a way to make it work for him, where he does good, and he still has this outlet to feed his dark side. And he knows that if this is the other thing that's so cool, but for the grace of God, it's such a small push to push Dexter to the other side where he would be any one of these guys. But he does have this, that's why I say I don't think he knows where his soul is, but he definitely has this moral compass of if I keep doing good here, I can justify taking the law into my own hands over here. And that also brings up an interesting point that we'll decide if it's interesting. Now, he's letting Travis go. Dexter.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, as a Dexter rule, not necessarily character, but overall in the show, once Dexter lets somebody know, or once Dexter knows who the killer is, do we ever see that killer kill again before Dexter can get to him?
No, I don't think we do.
I
ever.
can't remember if it's happened.
No, I don't think it ever has.
So he's pretty sure if Travis isn't the killer, he's going to lead him to the killer, but he's let him go. So I think in the prediction, anybody that we see now that related to Travis, I don't think we're going to see any more killings because Dexter could stop that effectively. And then an innocent person would die because of his inaction, right?
Yeah, Dexter's looking very normal this season. He's looking like the guy next door compared to everybody else.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He really is kind of like he's becoming the dad. I got a kid. I can't go have fun. I can't go kill. I have a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've because even this episode, I'm like going, okay, who's on the and then when he had Travis, I'm thinking, really, really, you're gonna knock him out right now? Okay, whatever. Nope.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't because I don't know what they would do. Obviously, they couldn't. I mean, I don't know why.
I was fooled. You weren't fooled. You knew that it was a ploy. I thought it was real.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure why the writers have revealed to the cops so soon who Gellar is. I mean, I know Dexter usually knows, but the cops are like right with Dexter on finding this guy. And I feel like Dexter's usually ahead of them.
Maybe because he doesn't exist.
Like I said.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more it's like, I'll buy it until it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, Travis could definitely have multi-personalities.
He could.
He
Well,
seems
he's-
like a loner with all those.
He has
books
all.
and
They're really setting up that he has all these skills to do these things.
that he's some genius and thinks a different way.
And you know the elaborate setup for the girl. But you know there's I don't know, because they find the book, Gellar's book, in the girl's apartment. But
Professor Porter, yeah.
Professor Porter.
Who assures us that it's not Gellar
Yeah.
doing the killings.
Maybe she knows why, because he's not interesting. That is interesting. Although you'd think that she might say, I think he's dead, guys, but
No.
maybe she forgot.
Well, they made sure to point out that tattoo on her back of the snake, Porter, Professor Porter, who used to be Gellar's TA. They obviously wanted us to see that.
I just saw a tramp stamp.
Sorry
He
to anyone
pointed out
who
a
likes
snake.
tattoos on their back.
I was like, oh, look, a tramp stamp. And then you went, oh, no, it's a snake. Yeah, look, it's a snake. I thought it was Quentin's last hurrah there.
I was hoping so.
You just,
I want Quinn to go.
you don't like Quentin.
No, I don't like Quinn at all. I was hoping that she was going to take him out.
Yeah.
But obviously he's going to make things difficult for Deb continuously.
Yeah, well, I think he's compromised the investigation.
Oh,
which
yeah.
means maybe Dexter will have to step in and take care
I
of some
don't think
things.
Dexter... Like, I cannot wait till Dexter kills again because it's going to be, like, a huge
Huge relief for him.
contemplation. I don't know. I feel like he's feeling differently about killing people. I really already see it.
Because of his conversations with Brother Sam, right?
Yeah. Brother Sam has made a huge impact
And then,
on him.
but then they put in that thing where he's in the car with Travis, and you can see him really enjoying being in
I
that
didn't
place
think he
again.
was. I thought he was enjoying helping Travis, giving him those words of wisdom. You're following the dark. He was almost taking on, Brother Sam's role in that case and being someone spreading the good news and the light.
God, yeah, when as you're saying this, it's like, okay, that works too. It's the sugar, people. It's all the sugar around here. Nobody can have a coherent thought for longer than like 3 seconds.
You sure it wasn't just all the hot dogs?
It might be the hot dog hat too. We're a bunch of goldfish around here with a new thought. All right.
You want to talk
Back on
about
track.
Travis?
Well,
bit?
yeah, he is getting stuck between Gellar and his new buddy Dexter,
Yeah.
and Gellar knows this because he right away kind of sent a warning shot across Travis's bow of Jonah and the big fish. If you try to swim away from God, you get eaten.
Oh,
So
Gellar.
Gellar feels he's God. Even when they were talking about in front of that cafe, he said, God's proud of you, and I'm proud of you.
Well, I think that they think that they're the two witnesses that are supposed to prophesy for 1,260 days. But I can't wait to see what they're planning. Or they may not even get there.
What are the witnesses they're going to prophesize for 12:6? And is they just people will sit and listen to them all this time?
No, they're doing it through this symbolism.
But I mean, if this thing plays out, so these two are going to prophesize.
They're doing it. They're prophesying.
Oh, they're doing it now.
Yes, by
Okay.
killing people and sending these warnings
Okay.
to the people in this world. They are spreading the word or prophesying.
Okay. And basically warning.
They're warning that judgment is coming so that people have time to reconcile with God.
And we're not really getting much of a message because it's all being wrapped up tight in an investigation. there's not much being released to the public.
You know, they should really talk about the paper story, like what the media is saying more. That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they should show some people going a little bit crazy over this if they're going to involve the world around Dexter.
Yeah,
we should get to see how people are reacting to these cases.
Right. I mean, they already have him calling the Doomsday Killer. And so, yeah, I agree. I think that would be an interesting beat.
Very.
But evidently, nobody's really too worried about it. You know,
Not that we know of. We can't see it.
But a lot of times, when you have a serial killer out and about, everybody does change their behavior. You know, people are kind of like, oh, walk together or that sort of thing. And we're not really seeing much change of anyone's behavior in this.
I don't feel like we're getting to see anybody outside of the main characters.
Well, they did a little hunting. So, but evidently, everyone's just still partying and whores. Like, here we go. A lot of single women walking up and down the
So they were
docks.
looking for the whore of Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
And in Revelations, she's a figure of evil and is seen as the mother of prostitutes.
Ah.
The whore of Babylon.
The general, so she's a madam.
Yes. And that's who Gellar wanted Travis to find. But Travis fails to kidnap her.
Yeah. He didn't do a very good job here.
No.
I just kept looking at all the cool boats. There's a lot of them. And we then...
Let's go
are
to
we done with
Deb.
Travis?
I think we're done with Travis.
Travis and Gellar? Gellar, you know, Gellar doesn't change much.
No.
This is really a story. If you follow that story arc, it's really about Travis and what he's going through. And unfortunately, Brother Sam, we find out in the trailers that he has a really rough morning ahead of him. So, like I said, he's not going to be doing much in this next.
I think they're going to keep Brother Sam alive, though. I mean, it looked like it. I mean, I thought he was just dead.
No, he goes. He's on life support. So, you know,
So maybe.
Dexter's actions beyond this will be for Brother Sam.
And Dexter said, "Is this my fault?" In the end, a little.
Right, because he took out
the guy in the barber shop. So he's thinking that this is one of those guys from the gangs that came after Brother Sam,
Right.
which would make plenty sense. Probably is. So is Dexter gonna kill? I don't know.
Well, he should, because come on, we're
Brother
waiting.
Sam.
Somebody, even if it's just just someone. Dexter
I can't believe he
needs to-
didn't kill anyone in this episode.
And now this has been 2 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think he did last time either.
He didn't. The last one was Ronnie Cox.
The audience is starving for blood.
Enough with all this psychological stuff. Get back to the killing.
Do you think people are getting it? Oh my gosh. I mean, Mike Anderson picks up the Bible in this episode and reads directly from the Bible to everyone. I mean, not just everyone on screen, but to the audience, whoever's watching Dexter. I mean,
I think it's pretty bold that they went, okay, let's take
Very
this
bold.
storyline and let's, give people something to think about. And I think they did it in a really smart way, which is here is a legitimate, spiritual basis, and here's the extreme. And let's put Dexter right in the middle, because that's always been his life, the extreme and trying to find normalcy in the extreme behavior. So
I mean, all the characters are very relatable this season as well. I mean, even Deb, she comes across so natural in all her troubles that she's going through and her talk with the therapist. I mean, do you want to talk about Deb now?
Yeah. Deb and the rest of the crew.
Yes.
Deb and co.
So she sits down with the therapist. And
That she's been dodging and dodging.
Yes.
And finally says, all right.
And therapist says, "Are you okay with everything that happened with the shootings?" And she goes, "Yes, it's just everything that's happened since then."
And then we were finding out all the trouble she's having. I was watching that and I'm thinking, it was interesting that she would kind of, at first I was thinking, are you sabotaging yourself here?
The therapist can't say anything. Is that what you mean?
Well, she can make a recommendation. That's
Yeah,
the
you're
whole
right.
reason that she's there, is to confirm that she's okay for service.
Yeah.
But you know, I
But
mean,
is-
it would be so easy for Deb to just go, I'm good. Everything's fine. I'm good. But
Yeah.
instead, she goes down this other path. And I'm wondering, in a way, if she's trying to, like, I don't want this job. I want to get back out. But, you know, I can't. I've got to save face because I don't want anyone to think I'm a...
I don't think the therapist would do that because it's strictly about if the killings are affecting you. I mean, everyone's got personal drama. You're not going to be said you can't do your job because of your personal drama. And that's the only thing she's revealing to the therapist here. She's not saying any trouble from shootings or blood is bothering her.
Exactly. She's not saying that the shooting has caused her trouble. But she is kind of... So maybe it was just a technique for, you know, as to see where she's at.
Exactly.
And just kind of help that storyline move along. I
think
was
so.
just thinking it's kind of, you know, if you're dodging her and you don't want to have this conversation, why are you having this conversation? But and the other thing that I'm kind of noticing with the rest of the crew, Deb and co, is Anderson is... as a character, they're bringing him front and center.
Yeah, they are. I like him.
I do too,
I
but
think
he's
Deb
asking a
likes
lot
him.
of questions. He's asking, what's up with this guy and what's up with this guy? And so anytime I can understand him asking questions about Dexter because that's, you know, the show's called Dexter. But he's asking...
He likes Dexter.
Yeah, but he's asking questions about Masuka.
Well, he walked in on Masuka masturbating.
Oh, he did?
They didn't show it, but it was clearly hinted at. Because he started to tell Deb, what's with that Masuka guy? I walked into his office unannounced, and she was like, enough said. And then later on, the new intern was like, I cleared your computer so
scrubbed
people
your
can't see that
porn
you're on
sites.
porn. So,
Oh.
so, you know what? I like that Mike Anderson is very critical and judgmental. I mean, he wants to work in a professional environment,
Yeah.
and these people are good at their jobs. But yes, I mean, just like Quinn, a lot of these people, their personal lives get in the way of their jobs sometimes. But Deb's wearing an awful lot of makeup around Mike Anderson.
Is she?
Yes,
See,
she is.
Your girls are noticing this stuff.
I mean, I like it. I think she looks great.
But she's definitely dolling up
Definitely
around...
dolling up.
We
It's
didn't
not
see
just
LaGuardia in
professional
this
clothing.
episode either.
Thank God.
I think she's on assignment somewhere.
Yeah, she didn't have a part this time.
And then there's Quinn. Quinn, who can't keep his quill in his pen.
You're so funny.
He is causing trouble. He went after Professor Porter in the library with his candlestick. And he... Nice! A rim shot with this sacrificial drum, this Sacagawea drum.
Yes.
So it looks like he's going to screw up this investigation because he's sleeping with one of the...
I mean, he's going to have to get fired or something because in the next episode, we could see that Professor Porter doesn't even want to talk to the cops about anything because she slept with him and she has that leverage, so she doesn't have to tell them anything.
Plus, seriously, how are you going to bring that evidence into court? You know, I mean...
You can't bring her into court.
Yeah,
Exactly.
any lawyer right out of the law school is going to get that tossed. And that has all the pictures.
Right.
That's got all the evidence that can tie Gellar directly to the...
But how did Professor Porter not know what she had in her house? Do you think she was just playing along there? Acting dumb?
Unless in her world it didn't matter.
Oh, I think she's pretty into it. She's got the tattoos. She's got the books
does,
everywhere.
but
She crosses
again-
all over her walls.
Maybe he doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm still going with that.
It's an interesting beat. But yeah, I didn't really know. First of all, I'm surprised that we're going to be seeing Professor Porter again. But that is what it is. We'll see what she has to say next week. I thought it was more about Quinn, and I really thought Quinn was headed for trouble on this one.
I was hoping. I mean, we don't like him anymore. Now he's asked Deb for the ring back. Oh, I had 30 days to return it, so I need that back. And you can see how much it mattered to her. She had lost it.
Yeah, it was in Harrison's playpen.
Yeah, and
Play
then her little argument with Jamie. I mean, why?
Okay, so I think they're setting up that Deb needs her own space. The therapist says that she has this blow up with Janie, I thought they could have come up with something a little better than the pictures. A 2-year-old kid isn't even going to recognize what that is.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't about the pictures. It was more about Deb needing her own place.
Yeah, and you know, you're wearing out your welcome. Go find your own place. And she does, evidently. They pull a little switcheroo, a little fast one.
What is that crime scene? That murder-suicide? Why? I really don't know why we needed that or why it was brought in.
Well, I think it might play later.
Right.
I'm guessing because they are spending a lot of time on it. They use it as a moment that Anderson can get to know a little bit about Dexter and how good he is. And so now we know that Dexter's on Anderson's radar. And then it's an opportunity, obviously, for Deb to find her own place and for her and Anderson to work together. And also, little piece of information, find out that Anderson's married because Deb shoots him a look.
What?
Yeah, he says, I'm married. When they're walking into the suicide house.
What did they say?
The guy says something like, "Oh, I thought you two were in," and she goes, "Oh no." He goes, "No, I'm married." And she shoots him a look. Now, she should know that he's married based on the fact that she hired him. So that should be in his jacket.
I think that was a joke.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering where the wife and kids were if he says he's married. Are they still back in Chicago or?
Right. No, I don't think he's married. Maybe he was just doing that to pull her along, or I mean, he definitely helped Deb kind of get that guy to give her the place really cheap. You know, it was definitely a little gameplay there. So, I mean, maybe that was all part of it. He just said he was married so that that guy didn't think, oh, they're together, they're trying to play me. But she does. I don't know why she wants to live where two people kill each other over love.
I don't think it's going to bother her. She's probably just going to be like,
it doesn't bother her, but God, there's a blood stain in your own house.
She's bringing her work home with her. It's, you know.
Feels
it's a nice
right
place.
at home, I guess.
Did you see where it's located? It's pretty nice, right on the water there.
Oh, you want to live there now?
I'd just replace the floors.
You would live there? Really? You would live there?
Yeah, heck yeah.
No, I couldn't do it.
I would.
I think too much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I just would make sure I kept my cell phone with me all the time.
See, you obviously don't want to live there. What is that? You're going to live in fear?
I've been to Florida. Have you been to Florida?
No.
I have. It's a nice place to visit.
But you don't want to live there.
I don't want to live anywhere in Florida. It's hot. It's hot and it's humid and it's full of New Yorkers.
Interesting point.
It is
Good
indeed.
point, Steve.
All right. So I'm about to choke over here. Why don't we go to commercial and make it a long one so I can get this out of my
Want to find out what the AFTERBUZZ is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean. You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AFTERBUZZ TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AFTERBUZZ on.
And we are back from commercial. Thank you, DJ Jesse in the booth. DJ Jesse Janity in the booth. In announcements, I know they are putting together another John Lovitz Theater. I don't know if I can announce if it's a solid for sure thing yet. Can we?
America's Next Top Model, December 7th.
It is locked. All right, America's Next Top Model, December 7th. If you were there for Breaking Bad at the John Lovitz Theater, it was awesome. We had such a good time. It's a large theater. There's beer and wine, and the food is pretty damn good. It's really intimate. Guys, it's America's Top Model. Models, guys. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So if you like the show or you just want to know what this whole thing's about, or if you want to hang out with models, come on down December 7th. It's the upper level of Universal City Walk. And I'm sure you can find information on their website or probably at AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV. So I guess that's it for my announcements. And now we can go to...
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
We need to add the drum to this song.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I can
Do you want to play the drum?
And I can play my hot
I can
dog.
slide it over.
I'm playing my hot
You
dog.
can play the drum. I know.
And I am quite musical.
Predictions.
What do you got?
Oh, boy. Well, I'm still hoping that Quinn goes down the tubes, and I don't think that Gellar exists.
That's
I
a
think
good
that
prediction. I
Gellar's
like that
dead.
one. I like that one. The more I think
And-
about it, and if it isn't that way, well, it could still work until it doesn't.
Yep, I'm going to play that card.
I think that of all the other detectives, Quinn could probably take a bullet, but as I'm looking at this thing, Anderson might take a bullet as well. Because they're kind of no, but yeah.
Do you
maybe
think Brother
Anderson.
Sam's going to be okay?
Oh yeah, that one. I think, but I'm gonna say yeah.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be okay for Dexter.
Yeah, because he really is Dexter. Whether Dexter wants it or not, he is the conflict, and it would be so easy to not have that. So that's our predictions. And that brings us to the end of Dexter on AfterBuzz TV. We will be back next week in normal clothes. Maybe.
No.
Maybe no. Okay, by the way, this is not real animal skin, in case you're worried.
Yes, it is. I used it to restore my angel wings.
Trying to keep you away from Cheetah. You're welcome. All right, so join us next week when we're back.
Call in. We
Call
want to hear
in
from you.
or come on tweet with us. We're on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can find us on iTunes. We're everywhere. And we will see you later.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.